Why, hello everybody. It took me a couple tries to make this video. I was playing the Underground War, but it was too action-based for me to actually, talk while playing it. I know, I could record the gameplay, and then I could add my commentary, while or not while doing the gameplay, but kind of separate, like most other YouTubers do. But I'm not a person that likes to edit, so So my videos are going to be centered around playing Roblox games while doing commentary at the same time. So today we're going to be talking about why education and jobs are a scam. All right, so the title of this video is going to be, why educations and jobs are a scam. So when we talk about education in the United States, right, 98% of it is not applicable to real life whatsoever, like what you're going to be doing in real life. Right, so we're going to talk about, I think we should start off with maybe middle, high school, and then we'll move on to college and then ultimately your career. So as far as middle school and high school, first of all, when it comes to kids that want to do blue collar work, there's absolutely nothing that we do for them. We make them learn triangles like Pythagorean theorem and and advanced trigonometry, which does absolutely nothing to serve what they want to do. And we need to have these people too, by the way. These are people, blue collar people, or people that feed us, they're people that fix our cell tower problems so we have internet. They're people that do welding, they do plumbing, so you can take a crap. These are people that really serve our society in a significant way, and our education system does absolutely nothing for them. So why do I bring that up? Well, I know that a lot of people are taking the white collar route and doing office jobs, and they're going to college increasingly. So I understand that, right? So but right off the bat, we're scamming about 30 to 40% of the kids that don't want to take that route. So there you go. 30 to 40%, it's a complete scam. Now, for the rest of the kids, first of all, there is a huge problem because we group by age instead of ability in our classrooms. So those that are very advanced, uh, they often don't get to, well, first of all, our education is designed so that every child is basically set at the same pace. There are some exceptions. There are, great accelerations and all of that. But essentially, we're doing gifted and talented students, for example, a huge disservice by basically keeping them at the same grade level. And even in the gifted and talented classrooms, essentially, they work at the pace of their peers, which is not what we should be doing. We should allow kids to work ahead, um, if they want to. I think that we should also allow internships in high school, because paid internships too, because unpaid internships is basically just bogus work. Paid internships will go a long way with companies. They would earn quite a bit of money, probably more than minimum wage work. It would be more relevant to uh, their their work experience, so when they try to get a career, for example, it would be more relevant for things like that. Um, yeah, it would be more relevant in general if we allowed internships for high school students. If we allowed high school students to work at their own pace, if we allowed blue collar and trades, and I believe that trades and blue collar work was actually removed because it was too biased towards men. Because back in the day, they actually allowed these things in school. Like construction workshops, for example, were a thing that existed. But because of liberal politicians, it actually got eliminated. So now we basically have absolutely no blue collar work, no kind of service to those individuals, right? Um, So yeah, we're scamming 30 to 40% of the kids right there, and then the other 60% of the kids, we force them to work at their own pace. Most of the skills that are required to be taught are not applicable in jobs, and we'll see that pretty soon when I talk about it. Um, yeah, I mean it's a huge problem. There's a huge disconnect between. Now, I'm not saying that like we should get rid of history and subjects such as that because you won't apply them in like a job, for example. But our republic, we're not a democracy, we're a republic. Our republic relies on people being knowledgeable about current events and our history as a country. And without that, our republic collapses. So that's why I'm for a well-rounded, more of a well-rounded education than, at least in the high school level, uh, than I am just like, let's teach kids how to use Excel and then they go get a job. But we really have to do better with applying high school, trying to teach kids skills that are applicable to getting real world jobs because we do a terrible job at it. Now, as far as, and we'll get to the jobs themselves, as far as college, right? So a lot of the jobs that are sit down desk jobs, and a lot of jobs are moving remote, office buildings are getting devalued. A lot of these jobs require college degrees. So if a bachelor's degree required, master's preferred. So that's the world that we live in. So if you want to get a decent high paying desk job, you have to go to college. All right. And more jobs are requiring this on the market. So now we head to college. Well, what does college offer us? First of all, they scam you because they require you to live in a dorm first year if you're not a local, which is completely immoral. I mean, the idea that you have to pay just as much as if you were to get a regular sized apartment with a kitchen, with a nice living space, with I mean, even like a multi-bedroom apartment could be the same rate as literally a dorm room living with four roommates sharing one bathroom. That's how outrageous it is. University college kids, first year, should not have to live in dorms, and it's ripping them off for a lot of money by doing that. It is a completely bullshit requirement that should be absolutely removed. So that's the first kind of little scam that college does. The second thing is we're scamming a lot of our kids because, and this happens at high school level, because we tell them that if you follow your passion and get whatever degree you want, then you will ultimately be successful and it will lead to success. And that is not true. Not every degree is the same amount of worth. The world doesn't care about a gender studies degree or a liberal arts degree. Liberal arts for the most part. I mean, if you're kind of in that law area, maybe, but that's law, right? The world, just because the world doesn't care about every degree equally. And ultimately, it's not about what you want to do. That's going to lead to success. It's about what the world demands, what the world wants in order for you to have success. So, um, I mean, most of the college degrees that are being offered, colleges are basically advertising to our young kids that you can get any degree you want, and it will set you on a path to success. And that is not true. Like I said, art, gender studies, all the African American studies, these aren't going to get you real jobs, and often you're going to be $100,000 in debt. You're going to be $100,000 in debt, and you're going to be basically broke for the rest of your life, and you're not going to be able to get a job that's related to your degree. So that's the first reason why college is a scam. Okay. The second reason is because, and I know there are kind of ways there. It's hard to mitigate this. The second reason is because classes that are, I mean, first of all, you have to take English. You have to take a bunch of classes like that. Now, I said I wanted a well-rounded education, but I think that 4 years of high school English is sufficient. And the reason why is because basically you're not learning any new English. You're just doing the same shit, which is writing one introduction paragraph. A lot of you guys are going to say, yeah, this is totally what I did. One introduction paragraph, 3 body paragraphs, and 1 conclusion paragraph. And that has literally been all 4 years of high school and probably most of your middle school. So why the hell do we need to keep doing this? If we've repeated this 3, 4, or even 5 times, then I think it's fair to say that we don't need continuation of college English unless standardized test scores in English for individuals are extremely low. Because I do believe in standardized tests like the SAT and the ACT. I'm not a politically correct person. I'm not going to say, well, you can succeed in any case. I am a huge advocate for standardized testing. And anybody that has below a certain, threshold in English, ACT, SAT, they should maybe take 1 or 2 college courses in English. But English shouldn't be required. History should, because like I said, um, it's very important for our kids to know, especially at the college level with a new sense of maturity and perspective, to have that class for the continuation of a healthy republic. So that's important. But like English, for example, a fine art credit, these shouldn't be required classes. And they're ripping you off tuition-wise by making you take these classes. So that's another scam. The classes that are actually relevant to your degree, right? So, for example, I had to take Calculus 3 in order to do double integrals and statistics. And what I want to say is, only 2% of the actual class you're going to take is going to apply to what you actually need to know in your degree. And I know that it's hard to reduce this problem because engineers, for example, may use another 2% of that class towards what they need to know, but it's not your 2% as a stats major. So I understand that this is really hard to do. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a complete scam, because it is. Most of the relevant classes that you're going to take to your degree are actually, most of it is not even relevant. I can almost guarantee you I might come onto this channel when I get a job, which is in a couple of years after I finish my bachelor's degree, and I will tell you guys, if I remember, I will tell you guys, I'm not using calculus at all. I'm not using computer science at all. I'm typing Excel and I'm making 70 grand a year. That's probably what it's going to be. There are some programs that jobs prefer you to use, like TensorFlow or SAS. I'm a stats major. But these are really like simple, and I'm sure they're not going to be complex calculations at all, right? So, that's another reason. A third reason is getting into the job. So college is becoming more expensive. It's like $100,000 per year. There's a lower and lower rate as time goes on as degrees actually earning you jobs. Most people are underemployed, meaning that they're not employed in a position where they're using their full potential or skills. So there's useless degrees. The classes that are relevant to your degrees you need very little of. So for example, I needed that double integral, right? So that means I had to take Calc 1 and Calc 2 in order to do a double integral, right? Instead of doing some sort of classes designed for stats majors or for related majors that could probably take 1 semester. And like I said, I don't know if there's a good solution to this. There may not be, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's generally a scam. So moving on to now the jobs. So you got your fucking degree, you got through high school. I mean, if you're a blue collar worker, you got through high school taking advanced trigonometry of triangles, which absolutely basically helps you zero. So you got that, right? You got your degree, you got through high school. Now, you have to go into the job market and find a job. And I've been looking through jobs, and I know this is how jobs are because I've read plenty, because I've experienced plenty of perspectives in the job market from people. Yes, I am 20 years old, and yes, I have seldom experience in the job market, but you can be a forecaster and know that there's snow coming, so to speak, right? So essentially, job market, right? Most jobs underemploy you. There are things now. If you're in like business data analytics, for example, it's a complete scam because what you'll essentially expect this to happen, right? You're going to type on Excel for 30 years, whether some people deserve a raise or not, and that's going to be your job. And that's something that a sixth grader could do. So all those high school years and all your college years were a complete scam. And oh, by the way, they require a bachelor's degree. You have to have that bachelor's degree and you have to have that 3+ years of experience because you are completely incapable without that for being able to type on Excel spreadsheet. Right, so this is what many jobs will do. For stats, the bar is probably a little higher. They're probably going to make me use SAS. They're probably going to, but even then, I mean, these programs, when I look at them, they're pretty easy. They're pretty straightforward. Jobs in general, most jobs are completely worthless, and all you have to do is you can take a look at documentaries. I go and watch Moon, the YouTuber Moon, the "You Are Completely Fucked" video, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Most Americans think that their jobs absolutely they serve absolutely no purpose, and that's completely correct. They absolutely do serve no purpose. Now you might be wondering one question, which is, if they serve no purpose, then why are these people getting paid? And that's a good question to ask. It's because it's really hard from a business perspective to kind of set things up to where it's working efficiently. Um, I think it would say, and you kind of want to expand as a business, um, for a couple reasons. That is a question that I still have kind of myself. Is, well, if these are just Excel parasites, then why the hell are they getting paid $60,000 or $70,000 a year? My answer is I don't really know, but the best guess that I have is that it's really hard to organize and manage business roles, right? And you're going to have, ultimately what ends up happening with management is that, and HR, because they're a useless piece of shit, is that through their dumb fucking process, only about 5% of people in the company are actually going to do the work, whereas 95% are just Excel parasites that a sixth grader could do. Average intellect, sixth grade skills. That's if you're like a high intellect and you're capable of achieving levels higher than your peers, you're going to be under challenged. You're going to be bored. These are all scam jobs, right? So that's essentially the job market is what. Oh, and remember, these jobs require a bachelor's degree, and the reason why is not because the college teaches you the skills that you need to be successful at the job. Most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, it's because they want to limit the amount of applicants and they want to rule out applicants automatically. So the best way to rule out applicants is to do things like require years of experience, require internships, and require previous work experience, and require a degree. And as even more and more applicants are going to come into the job market and flood the job market, assuming that legal immigration takes over the United States completely, they're probably going to push that level even to the master's degree to phase out any bachelors, because basically everybody has a fucking bachelor's now, so what the hell's the point? Right? So these jobs use bachelor's degrees and use master's degrees, not because They actually, now this is most jobs, right? I'm sure engineering, for example, uses some of those skills. But for like data analytics, business data analytics, accounting, as far as like some of the math courses required there, literally all it is typing on Excel, doing basically nothing, and having to kiss ass in order to get this kind of job that sucks and uses none of the skills that you learned in college that you paid $100,000 for. So that is the complete reason why jobs and education are a complete scam. It's a scam from the very start in high school, in college, and in the job market. It is a complete scam the entire time. Um, yeah, that's pretty much simple. And what you'll also find is that things like retirement, for example, um, with kind of how they manage your accounts, like mutual funds and everything like that, it's also a complete scam. Mutual funds are a complete scam that the average individual thinks, oh, mutual funds are great. I should have somebody managing my money. Um, no, it's a scam. I mean, most of your life is going to be a scam. Jobs are a scam. School's a scam. College is a scam. Uh, yeah, it's just the simple way of how it works. Climbing the social ladder, for the most part, is now a scam. Meritocracy itself it's not a scam, but it's broken in a lot of ways. Even to climb the job ladder now, they're not going to promote you. What's going to happen is they're going to look on Indeed, and they're going to basically replace your boss with another boss from the outside, right? And they're going to do this because they'll have hundreds of thousands of applicants, and maybe one will be marginally more qualified by searching through so many applicants for the job that is managing. Um, Oftentimes, what I hear from the corporate environment is that bosses feel inferior to superior intellect people. Like, when superior intellect people work with them, they feel threatened by them. So they'll treat them like absolute dog shit. And this is probably what's going to happen to me. Because if you don't know, I am somebody that has that level of functioning. And we'll go into it in detail in later videos. This is... Um, it'll be a part of intellectual giftedness, some of those topics that I'll cover. But there you go. That's the video. Thank you. Bye.